This is Subspace Transmissions. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Cam.
Cam, should there have been a Q adventure post All Good Things with the Next Generation crew? That's the big question that we are asking ourselves now. I'm not counting, say, Star Trek Voyager. I'm talking about a Picard v. Q sort of little adventure that we never got to see in, say, the movie era.
Right. No, there shouldn't have been.
No? Okay. Well, it was great having everybody here.
No, this always seemed to me like the biggest lost opportunity. I remember I was not a Star Trek fan when these movies were coming out. But even I knew, after First Contact with the Borg came out, it made sense to my non-fan brain that Insurrection would be a Q movie.
I simply assumed that the next film would be Star Trek Q. That
Right.
would be the name of it.
Yes.
And it boggled my mind. And I remember I was talking about it like back in the day, like, why is this not happening? Why are we focusing on F. Murray Abraham in like a bad facelift mask?
Well, I think when you saw that movie, though, it was completely justified.
Of course,
right?
of course.
Yeah.
But here's what I think could have gone wrong with, say, a Q adventure, is if they had actually made Q the A storyline.
Right.
I think what they could have done is maybe use him as kind of a plot device to get the main storyline going.
Like the Q Harrison.
The Q Harrison. Oh, with regards to Into Darkness? Yeah. Great. Yeah, great reference there, Cam.
Thank you.
No, I mean, like, I think it would have been a mistake to hang the entire movie around him. I think he should have put things into action, and he could have popped up with, such gusto throughout the course of the film, just bouncing off Patrick Stewart. John de Lancie and Patrick Stewart had so much chemistry throughout their appearances together that I think that would have been the better use of Q as opposed to making him the primary antagonist throughout this adventure.
Well, and the beauty is, too, like, John de Lancie has huge charisma. He steals scenes, and he's cheap. Like, he's not going to cost a lot to put in your movie. So you've got this live wire character who I think is going to grab the attentions of the audience, who's not a superstar you've got to, drop huge money to get in the movie. So to me, it makes so much sense.
And even from a marketing perspective, I remember they had a very difficult time marketing Star Trek Insurrection. I remember when Patrick Stewart, he was on the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Right.
What's an insurrection? Like I remember they had to...
I didn't know what it meant when it came out. Yeah.
And I had to look it up as well. And it's like, they had to explain what the movie title even meant. I think, look, if you've got like a Q as a part of your marketing campaign, everybody recognizes that. They kind of understand what his powers are.
Yeah.
The only question is, would it have been a disappointment following All Good Things? Like, he went out on such a high note there.
Yeah, exactly. An amazing note of just kind of fading into the darkness, saying, the trial never ends. I mean, I don't know. I guess in terms of the character and the way we left him, can you justify another Q adventure? Or is it kind of like Indiana Jones going off into the sunset at the end of Last Crusade and then coming back in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
Would Shia LaBeouf have been featured in this Q film, Cam?
Well, hopefully.
Okay.
No, it would have been Wesley Crusher swinging from vines.
That would have been pretty amazing. Okay. Well, so I've got a pitch, and I've pitched this on the podcast before, but I think that the best way to have used Q, that also falls into his big thematic, blowout line in All Good Things with, the trial for humanity never ends, is he could have been used as a bit of a plot device to throw the next-gen crew into the mirror universe, in which we're experiencing the mirror versions, the worst of humanity, through the prism of both Q as well as the next-gen crew.
Right.
It would have been a great excuse to finally visit this universe. It would have avoided all these weird transporter sort of malfunctions that always seem to happen. And by golly, I think that would have been great for marketing. If you've just got Patrick Stewart walking around with this badass goatee through like half of the trailer, right?
And you know what, too? Another Patrick Stewart? Cheap. Like, it's not too hard to get all those actors to play two roles.
To double up?
Yeah. You're saving money left, right, and center with this movie.
Would we have seen Riker without a beard as well? It is Insurrection kind of timeline.
Or he's got sideburns like Tom Riker.
So, are they more like Fonzie sideburns that are just really prominent? That's
like
how
the
we know.
mutton chops that come right down.
Okay, but then like back up to the nose like this. Okay, I can see that. Overall, it is a bummer that Q never returned for adventures with the Next Gen crew. He had some good outings with Voyager,
right? Yeah.
So it's not all such a waste.
Definitely not.
I just don't understand why the producers never went back to that well. Do you think that it was just they didn't think that he could carry it, or they never had a good idea?
I often wondered if they thought there was too much baggage from the show to try and explain in a movie. I don't think so. I think there's ways around it, especially for creative people. But to me, even like, say Insurrection happens as it does, you'd think even like the box office dropped off from First Contact Insurrection. You'd think they might have even been scared enough to be like, okay, bring in Q for part 4.
Yeah.
Nope. Romulans.
Okay. Well, going forward, overall, I think if you want to find even more information from us, we actually discussed the lost years of Star Trek The Next Generation in the latest episode of the podcast.
We'll offer answers to all of your Qs.